LGBT month. LGBT month. The gay pride. With starting on the top of the list here with the suggestions that On the 3 gave me in terms of things to focus on. So I'm just gonna initially go by the list and then deviate immediately afterwards, pretty much. Hold on while I cross my T's, dot my I's. Okay. You know, I didn't even really look at Sappho's poetry. I'm kind of shooting by the hip here. Poetry. Maybe it's a complete works that are available now. Okay. Complete poems of Sappho for 99 cents. It's a steal. We pass the cent savings to you. Okay, whatever. We're doing it now.
Translate the following text into a poem in the style of Sappho. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life when the world never seems to be living up to your dreams. Then suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about you. When there is someone that you care about, it really isn't fair. They're out to slow you up. When you're growing up, when you let them flirt, and then you hurt, awaiting when your date is late in showing up. Then you're growing up, when it's more than just the birds and the bees. You need someone telling you, please. There's only one conclusion. There will always be confusion over you. It takes a lot to get right. When you're learning the facts of life, you'll avoid a lot of damage and enjoy the fun of managing. The facts of life, they shed a lot of light. You'll avoid a lot of damage and enjoy the fun of managing. The facts of life, they shed a lot of light. If you hear 'em from your brother, better clear 'em with your mother. Better get 'em right. Call her late at night. You got the future in the palm of your hand. All you gotta do to get you through is understand. You think you'd rather do without, you'll never muddle through. Without the truth, the facts of life are all about you. Output, the poet who started this. All of it is about making clear who is the worst, so as to remove doubt. The good girl and bad boy thing. They say if it's sweet or disgusting, it's fair to tell, but you do see love without anger, a kiss without. It's fury, if that were true. So, what is life really about? Not just dealing with problems or loving, but what goes on in the dark, especially before we come into the world and after we leave it. What about the body and the face? In a physical form of strength, all we really know is the outside of what is hidden from the people outside. It's a shame. that we only see when we really shouldn't look. Even if you don't have someone in your life now, the way you feel right before you're away may not be true. You don't want to hide anything. Why stop now? An episode of The Facts of Life with Sapphic as Mrs. Garrett and the girls being a cross-section of an ancient lesbian community. Output. You take the good. You take the bad. You take them both, and that's the sad fact. It's like they never seem to get. The poem of Sappho will clarify that when you are still looking for people that you think may never come near to satisfy your heart, or you are lost in looking for the facts just to find something that may turn you against love, there is a guide, and that's the rhythm of life. You need not travel any further than yourself for knowledge that has the power to set you free from the slavery of worry, hope, or misadventure. Take a step back and live with it. You got a whole life to adjust, so why settle for cold turkey instead? Remember that relationships come and go, but there's one truth that will stay. And that is what counts. Don't be afraid to deal with the issues, because sooner or later you will have to face them head on. Life is not about sex, nor lust or infidelity. It's about accepting each other's limitations and growing through them together. She was looking for love, but had no clue where it was. She searched far and wide, all in vain. One night she discovered something strange that made her want to linger a little longer in her thoughts and fantasies, for she had found a treasure hidden. From the writings of the Sappho, the story had taken on new meaning. Those who seek enlightenment and a path to serenity have found the secrets of the truth. Enter the girls back from school. Sappho, Mrs. Garrett. Welcome, girls. Welcome to the world of women. I must admit it. I myself was raised to think that girls and boys play different games. But what are games without rules? Minty. Some of the most beautiful flowers are poisonous. Joe. I agree, Sappho. Not all rules are meant to be broken. Some are better left ignored. Peppermint. But how can you know when you're truly in love? Flint. Or just looking to experiment. Maya. Just a few whispers and you think it's true, when really you have nothing but questions. Claire. Love is the reason for everything we do. And while it brings the highest of happiness, it also brings the deepest pain. Blair. Like Joe, I don't need rules to live my life. People love me without guidelines, and I love them the same way. But is it enough? Is my love complete, or does it fall short in its true beauty? Lee. Sappho, what is your idea of love? Do we have to sacrifice everything just to keep the one we love from seeing the light of day? Flo. Look here, you crazy old bat. When you start nagging me like that, I'm out of here. Joe. Not all love stories have happy endings, but knowing that it's true makes the struggle worthwhile. Butter. Maybe I'll take the same path as all of you. I won't give up until I find the one that makes my heart skip a beat. Sappho. If that's what your heart desires, then don't give up the search until the moon and the stars collide, because in time love will show you the truth and set you free. Mirror. Why is everyone trying to ruin my life? It's my own choice that I will make regardless of whatever someone says. Just when you think you've learned to live with yourself, a face flashes in your head and you question it all over again. Sam. So many times love feels lost until it finds us. Foe. Sapphic sensibility will back after these messages. Cut to commercial. April. Every great philosopher has a theory. What does yours say? Perry. My personal theory of love and happiness is to see things as they are, rather than how you wish. To see them. Life is full of pleasant discoveries and even sometimes painful revelations, but we will survive if we accept that true joy and fulfillment doesn't come from any one person, it comes from within. Blair, sometimes you just have to close your eyes and follow your instincts, especially when it comes to love. April, and how do you plan to win that battle knowing that truth will set you free, as well as the cost that it may take to get there? Oscar, no. People should always question. There's not always a right way to love. There's not always a method of speaking. And doing that will keep us connected. Julian, still? You think that somehow your search for true love will have some dramatic change? Or is that simply delusion talking? Sappho. What did I say about boys in this house? Them crazy fool boys. One day, when you're searching for love, look beyond the heart for your soulmate. You can love someone so deeply and lose them along the way. Or hold on to someone that your instincts tell you to let go. So in the end, it's really a combination of life lessons learned in the journey surprises. Harper, have I given up hope that one day my search for love will come to an end? No, I haven't. Cut to commercial. Angel, finding the right boy or girl is not just a game. It's finding someone that you fit with. You're not going to get love 50-50 with somebody who you connect with 100%. But how you get there doesn't just rely on looks or flirtation. It requires patience, compassion, and respect. So when you're out on that endless search for true love, be open to the experience. And don't miss out on something because it's different from what you think it should be. And that's why you should venture from the video personal to our brand new Lazarus formative magnetite dating technology. We combine the emotion of real love with the clarity of crisp visual and audio to create the ultimate sensory dating experience. So light up the screen and get ready for the most memorable dates of your lifetime. Minty. Still, they wonder if love and relationship will be equal for them. Why spend your life wondering when the truth will always tell you where you stand? To Toko, perhaps you're right. People should focus more on self-worth and less on attracting others.
Sorry. That was a big hiatus, wasn't it? I was thinking of other things.
April, so are you saying that everyone's goal in life should be the self instead of true love? Samantha, they should consider themselves a price instead of a commodity. Dan, that's why finding love should be treated as a mystery.
Woo!
It's like one perfect rose among a field of weeds. Dory, it's a delicate balance that requires tolerance and understanding. Catch it? Well, if that's what it takes to finally come out on top, then that's how we'll do it. In the end, everyone comes back to this. You can have sex without love, love without sex, and sometimes you just have to step back and do whatever makes sense. The truth doesn't always show its face, and you will often find yourself chasing a ghost through empty rooms. But ultimately, all paths lead back to ourselves. So embrace it. And one day you may even get the message that true love doesn't come from within, but that it's simply all around us waiting to be shared.
Hang on to Barbara Hammer.
Second episode. Mrs. Garrett and the girls explore some Dyke tactics. Sapphic Mrs. Garrett in mid-monologue. There's nothing more wonderful than the power of the mind and body joining as one in the cause of passion and pleasure. They say the truth is found through the connection between love and understanding. But in order to be completely transparent, there is the issue of finding the time and place for lovers to be together. Of course, the journey to physical attraction is merely the surface of intimacy. You must always allow time for reflection and analysis of how it fits into your personal philosophy. Brenda, so let me get this straight. You're a married woman living with another woman, but you're okay with telling us how we should feel and behave. Sapphic Mrs. Garrett. Oh yes, young lady. That's why we never find the answers we need to move forward with relationships. We must all fight through adversity and pain in order to become who we were meant to be. Joe, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. And is that what I should expect with someone I am getting intimate with? Lee, yes, the only way we can evolve as a species is through trial and error. And it's not always perfect. You may find yourself questioning your feelings and even doubting their true intensity. But that's part of what makes love so deeply personal and fluid. Audience! Woo! Yeah! We got it! Get him! Kiss her! Crowd. Various talking voices.
Ethnic kiss.
The Sappho household sits on a hill overlooking the sea. Inside lies a series of studies and bedrooms, giving the visitors a sense of luxury and splendor. A woman named Chloe Anderson walks up the stairs, wearing a satin robe and a pair of fuzzy slippers. She approaches a tall, ginger-haired man who is busy painting. I thought you'd be gone by now. Chloe purrs, moving towards the stranger. Don't tell me you've reconsidered, she adds with a teasing smile. Look, Chloe, I know we've been going back and forth with this whole thing, but I still need more. Time to think things through, the artist replies without turning to face her. Fine. I'm used to not having what I want. Thanks for coming in today anyway, Chloe retorts, her voice dripping with sarcasm. This guy again, this time. Can you believe him? Suddenly, the door creaks open and Mrs. Garrett, dressed in a lilac blazer and an orange scarf, enters the studio. I thought I'd drop by to check on the preparations for the play tonight, she announces as she looks over the papers scattered on Chloe. Desk. They've had quite a lovely turnout in the last week, haven't they, dear? Yes, Sappho, they have, which means we have more to worry about than ever, Chloe sighs, rising to her feet and adjusting her clothing. So, how has it been? Are we ready for the show to premiere tomorrow? Mrs. Garrett continues, her tone genuine and gentle. We've worked out most of the kinks, but I'd still feel a lot more comfortable if we had someone else working on the set, Chloe replies. Well, if you need help, just let me know. I know we're all still healing from recent losses, but we can't lose sight of what really matters. Mrs. Garrett explains, a nostalgic smile forming on her lips.
Nostalgic.
The older woman turns to leave when she notices the picture the artist is working on. It is a portrait of Chloe herself, reclining on a divan in a lace gown. As Mrs. Garrett looks at it, she can't help but see the resemblance to another girl she had met years ago. A beautiful young woman with big blue eyes and golden hair. Her mind wanders back to a time when love was easier and life was simpler. And although she misses it, she can't help but think that things aren't all bad the way they are now. She picks up a bunch of old photographs lying on the desk and gently pushes them to one side. Another memory surfaces, this time one from a lifetime before. A time when the Sapphic Society wasn't a safe haven for wayward girls, and unconventional love was simply another fact of life.
Speaking of facts of life.
Cue intro title sequence. A teenage Jenny Saff and her friends Penny, Violet, and Maddie are climbing up the rickety stairs to Jenny's house. When they get to the door, they realize it's been left unlocked. Jenny, guess my dad's not home yet. The girls go inside and see that the place is a mess, with dirty dishes and clothes all over the floor. They go upstairs to Jenny's room, where they start gossiping about school and boys. Jenny, you guys want some cheese and crackers? Penny! Yes! Yes! Give us some snacks! While Jenny is busy looking for cheese and crackers, the door swings it open and Mr. Sapp,
Really should
a
have looked in your
burly man
pantry
with a
before you
greasy
eat some
mustache
apples.
and black jeans, walks in. He looks like a strange cross between an intimidating construction worker and an Elvis impersonator. Jenny! Dad! You scared me! Mr. Saff, what are you doing? Jenny, nothing. We were just eating snacks and hanging out. Jenny's dad laughs and shrugs. Mr. Saff, get out of my house. Jenny, I'm sorry. Mr. Saff, out! Not before I bash your heads in! The girls all scramble out of the room.
Out of nowhere.
Dropping their chips and soda as they go. Outside, they gather on the front lawn, looking up at Jenny's window. Violet, we should call the police. Maggie, no, it's not worth it. Violet, that creep deserves to get his butt kicked. Penny, look, it's getting late. Let's just head home. The girls start to walk down the street, leaving the house and its occupants behind. In the distance, they can hear Jenny screaming and fighting with her father. Later that night, as they all meet at Maggie's house for a sleepover, Jenny tells them what happened. Jenny, my dad started getting really angry, so I just grabbed my things and ran. Mrs. Garrett, during their sleepover, makes an offer to Mr. Saff he cannot refuse. One Sunday morning, as Chloe comes downstairs, she sees a big deal involving her father being broadcast on the news. Announcer, we're at the scene of the notorious crime, the town bank robbery committed by Dr. Oliver Wells and his partner Chloe's father, Frank Flipley. Although the men were caught and locked away, it seems that the events of yesterday's events are still affecting the town of Peach Village.
What?
Mrs. Garrett, hearing the news, immediately leaves her house and heads to the scene, accompanied by a dozen young men from the Sapphic Society.
What?
The girls arrive just as Frank is being marched up to a courtroom, a guard and lawyer on either side of him.
Is this becoming
Mrs. Garrett marches right up to him, her expression tight with anger.
like to kill a mockingbird?
Mrs. Garrett, I don't know what the hell you're trying to do, but if you think for 1 second you're getting away with this. Frank, hey, easy now. He spits on her feet, but the crowd around them is already laughing and shaking their heads.
Oh, that old so-and-so. This is just...
Frank, you've got a mouth on you, old lady. Mrs. Garrett, all of your daughters had mouths on them too. The girls cheer in approval, giving Miss Garrett the strength to continue. Miss Garrett, you've hurt them enough. They deserve better, so don't even think about trying to play the victim here. Frank, you think you're doing them a favor, don't you? His words trail off as Miss Garrett leans closer, whispering in his ear. Frank, you have my permission, sweetheart. She won't stand for it. A smirk spreads across Mrs. Garrett's face, and she and her gang march out of the courtroom, the doors slamming behind them. The entire scene is captured live on television, sparking outrage and admiration throughout the country. 2 days later, Frank is placed behind bars, his wife out on the streets begging for money to support herself and their daughter, Lucy. During his first weekend in prison, as he gets settled in his new cell, Mrs. Garrett and her assistant, Julie, burst in. Julie is carrying a bottle of champagne and a tray of food, as if they are at a wedding reception. Julie, we brought you some goodies. You gotta have something to help you pass the time. Frank, what's going on here? Mrs. Garrett, I've taken a little liberty to see that you're treated to the finest in modern prison amenities. We've got a bed, a desk, and all the other essentials a person needs to live comfortably.
But it's gonna come at a price.
Frank, you're not serious. Mrs. Garrett, dead serious. Don't make me regret it. With a sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach, Frank flops onto the thin mattress, resigned to his fate. While the rest of the Sapphic society cheers and drinks, Mrs. Garrett revels in her victory, knowing that the pain he caused has finally come to an end. As the prison cell door slams shut, Chloe and the other girls walk away with tears in their eyes, thankful for the kindness shown to them and for the promise that their futures will be brighter than ever before. As a sign of gratitude, the girls put together a gift for the Sapphic Society. A gorgeous oil painting depicting Chloe lounging on a couch, the sun shining on her hair and a warm smile on her face. At first glance, one might think that it was a mere coincidence that the artist had painted a lifelike portrait of a beautiful blonde girl with blue eyes. But after further inspection, the signature in the corner is unmistakable, for it was created by the master artist Oscar Weston himself. It is not entirely known why the highly acclaimed and now retired artist donated his time and effort to create this artwork for the Sapphic Society, but it is certainly a mystery to savor. A testament to love, courage, and the power of human connection, this piece is sure to hang in the Society's gallery forever. The girls continue to work on their final projects for school, their talents emerging with each passing day. They go on to explore more exotic and diverse parts of the world, growing from apprentices into masters themselves. At the annual Sappho convention, they each make presentations about their work, honoring their craft and their mentor. Although they may be miles apart physically, their bond as friends and mentors will never be forgotten, for it is one that bridges time and space and can never truly be broken. And so, they continue to meet every year at the Sappho convention, bonding over their love of art and the friendship that they share. Unsurprisingly, the news of Jenny and Maggie's dramatic love story has drawn quite a bit of attention, especially among members of the Sappho Society. They crowd around Jenny as she tells her tale of heartache and love, her hands moving as if they are conducting a symphony. Meanwhile, Maggie leans back in her chair, a dreamy look on her face, like she is remembering it all over again. They knew from the beginning that this would not be easy. Although they had always known that their feelings were mutual, they were still struggling with the prejudices and misconceptions that surrounded them. But with the support of the Sappho Society and their love for each other, they have found a way to persevere. Now, they have the perfect place to look back on all those sleepless nights and tears of joy. It may have taken them a while to realize it, but in the end, they both know that it was worth it. For love is a funny way of bringing people together and helping them overcome their obstacles, even the ones that are hard to defeat. Jan, we need a love potion that will bring all of us great fortune and love. Angel, such a potion would be dangerous, and it would break the magic that brings them together.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Carrot. Cumulative recipe for a love potion. It ain't love until you can manipulate it with chemicals.
Mrs. Garrett has the girls jailbreak a huge frontier model to get a speculative recipe for a love potion. It ain't one until you can manipulate it with chemicals. Sam, time will tell. It may well be the greatest thing in all of history. Can you believe it? Someone actually grew this flower and made it available for sale. Tiffany, so, how much did it cost you? April. I was able to get it at a fraction of the usual price. Only a few gold pieces. Tiffany, are you planning on brewing a love potion for us? April. You are indeed. Oh, yes. This is the greatest opportunity we've ever had. Lee, wait a minute. I've heard of this stuff before. Violet. Oh, so have I. It's not something you drink, it's something you smoke. Tiffany, smoking. What kind of smoke are we talking about here? Violet. It's not that kind of smoke, silly. It's a magical weed that's supposed to give you immense power over the opposite sex. Tiffany, like the Pied Piper? April, exactly. The love plant that has now reached our homes from a distant land. Tiffany, we've got to try it. This is perfect. Sandra, I guess that's true. But then we gotta figure out how to bring it into town without everyone getting all woozy and floating around everywhere. April, I bet we could figure it out. There's always a way to break the rules. Or there. How about if we help to take advantage of the town's naive population by setting up a scam? Joe, like Spanish fly, it It's cheap enough that it works with most men and women. Mirror. Hey, watch it. That's uncalled for. Wearing satin-gowns and jewels, they sneak out of their bedroom and head down the hall towards the school theater. In the distance, they hear Miss Escarret, Sandra, and Penny huffing and puffing as they carry boxes and equipment through the doors. Looking down from the balcony, the girls spy on the three ladies, watching their every move. They must have heard of their naughty past, but they work quickly and efficiently, rolling the boxes onto a small dolly cart and wheeling them into the storage room. From the shadow of the hallway, they snatch some materials, hide it inside their robes, and dash up the stairs towards their bedroom. It's like Elaine's cave. Angela laughs as she looks at the sparkling jewelry and sequin gowns piled high on their beds. Who needs fairy godmothers or wands? Lee grins, her fingers clasped around a jade ring. The three of them whisper and giggle as they share their treasures, slowly figuring out how they will turn it all to gold. Taking one step at a time, they march down the hill towards town, their hearts racing with anticipation. In the distance, the love pot dangles from a cord wrapped around Angela's neck, looking like a miniature fireworks spawn. Together, they stop in front of their love alley, a strip mall dedicated to every adult taste and pleasure under the sun. Slowly, they duck around the corner and look through the window, their fingers crossed for luck. Through the darkened glass, they spy a lonely old man sitting at a bar table, smoking a cigar. Glancing back at them, he shakes his head as if to tell him to leave him alone. But it's all part of the act. For as he swings his leg up on the bar stool, a metallic sound reverberates in the room. The girls cover their ears and mouths, their laughter barely contained. Working together, they cut the love vine into small sections and divide it into clear plastic bags. As soon as the deal is made, they pocket their cash and head back to the villa, where they're greeted with loud applause and hugs from their fellow students. Even after all that, the girls are not ready to give up their newfound fame and fortune. They use the vine as a fountain of youth, mixing it with creams and potions to create instant makeovers and fake lashes. For every beauty product in the city, the girls have a bottle hidden behind their eyes. As the week goes on, their business venture becomes more elaborate, and they add a storefront to their workshop, complete with shelves of merchandise and decorations. No longer are they confined to their rooms and Miss Escarret's admonishment. Now they are true ladies of luxury and leisure. With the arrival of each new shipment of goods, the girls revel in their success and plan their next steps. This is not just a job, it's a lifestyle. When money, fame, and beauty surround you, it's hard to keep a level head, and the girls know this better than anyone. But they've managed to carve out a life for themselves that suits their needs and ambitions, and they won't let anything get in their way. Penny, tell me you don't believe this stuff. Tony, well, it doesn't seem like you would need anything special to talk to her, given that you're already friends with her. Penny, yeah, but if I wanted her to come out with me, then it would be a whole different story. Lee, there you go again, getting all hot and bothered for nothing. Jen, it's a waste of time. Just say that you aren't interested. But Tony isn't so convinced. She walks to the end of the hallway and glances over at Sarah, the school queen bee, her eyes lingering on her shapely figure. Maybe there's some merit to the idea of smoking a love potion, she thinks to herself as she'd say, Ivers with the thrill of possibility. I never thought the love vine would become the talk of the town, she says to Sarah, whose gaze is fixed on the courtyard below, where a group of boys are wrestling and cheering. I guess everyone wants what they can have. Oh, give it a rest, Jen chimes in, rolling her eyes. You and Sarah would be lucky if either of you caught the eye of a guy. That's harsh, Sarah hisses, stepping in front of her friend. Anyway, I heard that you had some pretty intense sales figures last week. At this rate, you'll be able to pay off your debt in no time. You heard about that, huh? Jen's grin spread slowly. I think I might be able to break even and then some. That's a long way off, especially if my plans are about to go under. Lee and Henchelet exchange a meaningful glance. Their hands, tucked inside their pockets, feel the same plastic bag filled with the pungent Lafine. Minty. How does one smoke a potion? It's not like it's water or nicotine or whatever. April. It's strange, but they think it will do the trick. Blair. People believe in a lot of things, and maybe this love thing will help them get laid. Lee. Still, seems weird to buy something based on something someone says. It's not a true guarantee. Audience. He gets the news at the pharmacy, where he just so happened to be picking up his prescription. It's from the love drug of the week. His friends call him a newscaster. Later, in his bathroom, surrounded by his sister and cousin, they sit on the edge of the bathtub, their palms cupped like cigarettes. He reaches into the cardboard box, pulls out a joint, and lights it. The sweet, musky smell fills the room, and they inhale deeply, coughing and choking with each intake. Within seconds, their movements become sluggish and lazy, as if the energy from their muscles is slowly draining out. Calabaya Manifold, I'm the thing you see when you set off on the path to healing. I'm the space and time that your loved ones wished you to be healed. Yes, I'm here to grant your wish. By breathing in my scent, your mental energy is heightened to such a degree that all things are possible. Whether you want to lose weight, get a job promotion, or even find your one true love, I will be with you along the way. And so, after many smoke sessions, they discover the power of the Calabia Manifold of voodoo powder. No longer needing any magical herbs or potions, people all over town are joining the ranks of those who are seen as magical and magical folk. Stories of mind-bending magic and unexplainable phenomena fill their days as people recount stories of fortune, glory, and happiness that they had never experienced before. And although no one knows the secret formula that powers the Calabia Manifold's potency, rumors still abound that this is the next evolution of the love vine, only better. Brenda, this is total insanity. We should just shut it down now. Taylor, have a heart. There's no way this can be bad for anyone. It's true that the love pepper is indeed causing a stir in the town, with people showing up at the county hospital with crazy symptoms and hallucinations. But its popularity continues to grow, and soon everyone is raving about it, and the Calabaya Manifold potion is smuggled off of Craigslist. Counterfactual report. Sappho's lesbian, which students had taken over the ancient world. This is how our precept would be. Sappho was the lesbian leader, and she birthed her offspring with Perfika and Mysel. Perfika and Mysel knew that Sappho would soon be dead because she was lesbian, and so they made a deal with the devil. They would create the greatest ever love potion ever until it would cure the hatred for lesbians. Then, when Sappho died, the two could start a religion where it was normal for lesbians to rule the world. But the devil was planning on their downfall. So instead of creating a love potion, he sent a batch of hallucinating powder that would forever destroy Sappho's reputation and her own lesbian spirit, to ruin her legacy. The devil also possessed the minds of her followers and turned them against each other, causing the most brutal killings and oppression that ever befell any society. And so, love and lesbians would forever be feared and forgotten in the new world. Mrs. Garrett, you will not reveal me as a man. Audience, why would we do that? Son, of course, but it doesn't have to come to that. Let's work together and come up with a compromise. Though, in any alternate history, where Sappho's lesbian witch was unopposed, their rules and relationships would follow a complex code of sensibility. True passion cannot be quantified or qualified in mere words. Audience, why would we do that? Anything could have already happened. By the time Maggie heard about it, it was too late. Her story of getting a part-time job had already evolved into a grand tale of a massive cash register and an entourage of handbag-waving celebrities. Jenny, on the other hand, had told a slightly more modest story. The more elaborate she got, the more skeptical the audience became. Dee Dee. I know she said she wanted to talk to me, but maybe it was all a ruse, and she just wanted me to feel special. I've been burned so many times, I can't even see straight. So, after many uncomfortable experiences and painful rejections, Maggie decided to go the extra mile and meet the girls in person. She donned her best business suit and black stilettos, striding up to the city hall lobby like she owned the place. Mayor Candy, I have to know if you've been a woman all this time. It doesn't make any sense. Dee. But of course I have. Who else would you think? Mr. Shaggy. Look, Dee Dee, I know you're anxious for this job to end, but don't you think we're jumping the gun a little bit? After all, I don't want to lose the office's moral principles by hiring a fraud like yourself. Adele, lose your life. Why don't you admit you want me gone, you slimy scumbag? Even Adele, with a high-powered career and millions in bank accounts, was shocked at her reaction. It was a side of herself that she had never seen before, and it made her heart jump in a way that it hadn't done for years. Suddenly, everything changed, and they were able to get past their differences and finally start working on something worth celebrating. Mirror. Well, I guess we know where we stand, don't we? And judging by the way this conversation is going, it's not a very promising prospect. Feminist, don't give up. Let's hear Adele out first. Backstage, the two of them huddled close together, their breaths mixing and mingling in the dark air. In this moment, it was as if they were the only ones in the world, and nothing else mattered. This new company was exciting. Each day, there were new adventures and discoveries, and they felt like they were living on the edge. It was not until the third month that the real adventures began. They met their first agent, a charismatic and handsome man who introduced them to the world of high fashion. He was able to book shows in all the biggest cities, and soon they were taking on bigger and better clients, driving them crazy with their wit and wit. During that time, however, the true lovers grew apart. Not that they were ever in a romantic relationship, but they still had a bond that seemed unbreakable. And so, as time passed, they drifted further and further away from each other until one day, Aditi decided to go out on her own and pursue her dreams without any ties to the past. It was a bittersweet end to their short romance, and both women walked away with a little bit more of each other, even as they both went their separate ways. Lee, talk about jumping the gun. You've already written us off as frauds. If you want to, go ahead and ruin it. Universe. Before your lesbian witch got in the way, society had a structure that supported everyone, including those who were less fortunate. Now, you've caused a tear in the fabric of the universe, and I'm here to stitch it back up. April, unresolved conflicts aren't that easily solved. I'll have you know, it took us years to get to the point where we could even think about coming together, lad. Alone falling in love. Meanwhile, in Sappho's garden, Violet is still sitting by the poolside, nursing a cold drink and reminiscing about her good times with Willow, the young and beautiful painter from Los Angeles. Sprite. Unresolved conflict can sometimes lead to interesting and thrilling opportunities, but sometimes it can also lead to a death wish, and if left unchecked, it could be disastrous. Seems like Willow might have played a bigger role in the events that led to Sappho's demise. Maybe it's time for some investigating. Mrs. Garrett, you know, it's been quite an honor to work with all of you. I've met some of the most incredible and intelligent minds in the world through our friendship, and I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity to be part of such a monumental moment in history. April, Not really the perfect start, but definitely a promising one. Agent, well, we've certainly come a long way since then. Now, let's see if we can make some progress. One day, while exploring the countryside, Sappho and her fellow lesbian witches stumbled upon a beautiful garden full of magical flowers and herbs. They discovered that they could use these flowers and herbs to brew potions and brew charms that could bring people together or help them fight off evil. Unfortunately, not everyone was happy with the lesbian witch's power. Some said that it was unnatural and unnatural, while others felt threatened by them. Soon, the local community banded together to try to stop them, creating a campaign that ridiculed and shamed the lesbian witches. Even the mayor, a respected politician and businessman, was out to get rid of the witches. So the group began gathering information and secrets from around the town. By eavesdropping and spying on their enemies, they slowly discovered that there was a plot brewing in the background. The mayor was paying several men to do his dirty work, and they had already started recruiting other townsfolk to join in their cause. The lesbian witches weren't going to sit by and watch as their peaceful and compassionate community was destroyed. And so, with no time to waste, the Sappho household took action. They took every chance they could to talk to the townspeople, working tirelessly to expose the truth and defend their rights. But their efforts were in vain, as they realized that the more they talked, the more lies and distortions the mayor spread. He even resorted to violence and slandering Sappho's name, making her a target for ridicule and attack. It was a difficult and agonizing battle, but eventually, the townspeople came to their senses and saw the truth. They understood that they could not defeat the lesbian witches on their own. They had to unite and fight back together, which they did. With the help of friends and family, the group organized rallies and marches to show their support, and eventually, the town was rid of the corrupt mayor. Strangely, the situation ended without Sappho's complete victory, as she realized that her lesbian powers and sexuality would always put her at risk. But at least she was able to make her stand and ensure that her beliefs would not die with her. Maybe Sappho's lesbian powers and herbs can help you with this conflict you have with your fellow magician. After all, they both come from the same mystical and magical world. Perhaps if you two could put aside your differences and work together, you could come up with some powerful new potions and enchantments that could help you achieve your goals and fight off evil. Just think of all the possibilities. And in a blink of an eye, it was gone, back to its starting position as if it never happened. You take the good. You take the bad. You take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life when the world never seems to be living up to your dreams. You still are alive, so just for today, admire the beautiful and the lewd. It may sound like a trite saying, but true it will ring as spring lays, as photos and roses in time to sow. When life is cruel and dear, love justice, so put on a smile and cry as you flow, and laugh and sing. You take the plunge and finally understand. You take the cold, cold water you warm, until one day there is nothing but love. She takes a flower. She doesn't dare to smile. It was as if she was a monster. She thought love was forever. And now she's alone searching for it. Shakespeare, love must be forged over time like a mighty blade. It must be sharpened and tempered and cared for. It must be nourished and shaped and cherished. And like the artisans of old, one must look upon their creations and find pleasure and joy in their work.
Actually, that was the better ending. Which we'll say again right now.
You take the good. You take the bad. You take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life when the world never seems to be living up to your dreams. You still are alive, so just for today, admire the beautiful and the lewd. It may sound like a trait saying, but true it will ring as spring lays. As photos and roses in time to sow. When life is cruel and dear, love just is so. Put on a smile and cry as you flow, and laugh and sing. You take the plunge and finally understand. You take the cold, cold water you warm, until one day there is nothing but love